Microtarget is the story of why the pollsters failed to predict Trump's victory. This is part 2 of the introduction video, an overview of the video series. The next video is the mystery of the pollsters' mistake. Back in 2008, Nate Silver correctly predicted almost every state in the presidential election on his blog, 538.com. And in the 2012 election, his predictions were perfect. So why were Silver and other pollsters right in previous elections, but all so wrong in 2016? Because they couldn't predict that swing voters would surge to support Trump at the last minute. The second video is about historical precedent, because 2016 wasn't the first time that society encountered a breakthrough technology. The Wright brothers invented aviation technology, but for years society thought their breakthrough was impossible. People literally saw the Wrights flying, but didn't believe their own eyes. It took a Nobel Prize winner and a MacArthur genius to discover that we decide that an outcome is impossible if we can't imagine any chain of events that could cause it to occur. Why was it considered impossible that the Wrights invented aviation? Because people couldn't imagine a chain of events that would allow a machine to fly. Similarly, the key to understanding the mystery of Trump's win is imagining the chain of events that led to it. Trump's team used digital ads to get millions of people to vote for him, which is why the third video is about persuasion. For most of us, Google and Facebook are how we learn and communicate online for free. But those companies are so financially valuable because they make money from digital advertisements. This third video is about the heads of those companies, Larry Page and Mark Zuckerberg, and their technological breakthrough in microtargeting. It used to be that persuasion was imprecise and expensive. So why is influence now affordable? Advertising technology, or ad tech, enables marketers to identify persuadable people online and to influence them with personalized ads. Most of us have had ads chase us around the internet. When those ads merely influenced consumers to buy a few more shoes, there wasn't a compelling reason for people outside of the industry to understand ad tech. Of course, nobody built ad tech to get Donald Trump elected. But now that micro-targeted ads significantly affected who became the leader of the free world, we need to develop a collective understanding of why they're so much more powerful than conventional ads. The next video, the fourth video, is about the election system. In 2000, the controversial election of Bush versus Gore revealed problems in our election system. The country waited for weeks for a recount in Florida, and the election was ultimately decided by the Supreme Court. Nobody wanted another controversy, so a bipartisan commission recommended changes that President Bush signed into law. One provision in the law gave politicians access to individual voter data and put the election system on a collision course with ad tech. For instance, the Florida Department of State declares, all voter registration information is public record. This data played a pivotal role in the 2016 election. This data really is public. Someone really registered to vote as Kristen Black in apartment 124 in Gainesville, Florida. Politicians from Lincoln to Obama have wanted to reach out to voters directly, and gaining access to individual voter data finally let them do so. In fact, this was an important part of Obama's success. In 2016, Hillary Clinton followed Obama's playbook and selected his head of digital marketing, Teddy Goff, to lead her campaign. So how have voters been influenced by political campaigns? Through weak, impersonal messages. In 2012, Goff discovered that delivering those weak messages by trusted friends made them a little stronger, hence his focus on engaging supporters. What Goff didn't realize was that by 2016, digital advertising became dramatically more effective. Influencing voters is nothing new, but this video about a modest improvement on conventional persuasion highlights why Trump's approach in 2016 was so successful. The final video in the series is about Project Alamo. Donald Trump hired Alexander Nix and his company Cambridge Analytica to develop his digital strategy. So how did all this coalesce to create the shocking result in the presidential election? Trump's team built Project Alamo to deliver strong, personalized messages. The election system provided data on individual voters, and microtargeting made it cheap to use that data to show persuasive ads. Nix recognized this opportunity. Goff didn't. Over the past few years, advertising technology became more effective, and Nix's breakthrough in weaving it together with the election system actually amplified its power. So who is Alexander Nix and Cambridge Analytica? During the Republican primaries, Cambridge first worked for Ben Carson, and then Ted Cruz. After the primaries, Trump hired Cambridge to join his digital strategy team. I learned about Cambridge's technology through public presentations by their staff, including Alexander Nix, their CEO, Molly Schweikert, their global head of digital, Alexander Taylor, their chief data officer, and Federico Nocera, their data scientist. To be clear, I've never worked at Cambridge Analytica, but they didn't build Project Alamo from scratch. They purchased commercially available tools from advertising technology companies. In 2014, I worked at one of those companies. You don't need all of the details about these companies to understand Project Alamo. What matters is your ability to imagine the chain of events. I've put together Microtarget using public sources, as well as my 15 years of firsthand experience working in tech. There were many factors that led to Trump's win. I'm narrowly focused on explaining the role of technology. I've been deliberate to emphasize the big picture and avoid getting lost in the details to make this story accessible to anyone interested in the election, not just people in tech. I believe that Microtarget has tremendous implications for our democracy and our day-to-day lives. We now live in the age of affordable influence. Part 3 of the introduction video explores this idea.